Yes, Nana Onyame yeda wasi se enesoso wasa hwe yeso na yasa aba efidie mu Fire Live Radio na yedi legal matters ebre yetiefo nyina. Nene yeba beka ensem bi about something called the principle of Dolai Inkapa. Someone will say Dolly Inkapa and its effect in relation to children's application for British citizenship or registration. We'll be talking about that. We will also be talking about the effects of police caution, whether you should take a police caution or not, and its impact on individuals. A lot of the times, people are made to believe that, it's just a slap on the wrist. It's not really going to have any effect on individuals. Today, we are going to be talking about police caution and its effect. So many cases have come before us that people were persuaded that, it's not such a big deal, that you can do what? You can actually just take the punishment. It's not going to lead to anything. Mistakenly, people have assumed that caution is not a criminal record and therefore it's not going to have any impact. DBS, we used to call it the criminal record check. These days they call it DBS, which is the disclosure barring or disclosure barring DBS whatever report. What are the effects? If you get police caution, what is going to be the effect on your job opportunities? Today I have a typical example that I have got from a very reputable source called Unlock for people with convictions, i.e. the impact that it has had on someone. The person was looking for a job in the NHS. After interview, the job was already in the bag. And I will go through the person's life experience so that we can all learn from this. I am a firm believer that, a clever person learns from others, but a foolish person will always wait for the incident to happen to him or her before he learns from it or before she learns from it. So today we'll be talking about DBS, police caution, and its effect. We will also be talking about the 10 and 20-year rules on long residency. We're going to be talking about this today. So we have 3 topics today. Dolai Inkapa and its effect on young children, i.e. those who are aged 10 and over. We will then look at DBS, police caution, and then we will look at the 10-year rule and the 20-year rule. It's very strange that a lot of people still believe that if you have been living in the UK for a period of at least 10 or a period of 20 years and you submit an application to the Home Office, automatically you'll be granted indefinite leave to remain. We're going to be looking at that, and if you are successful, the type of visa that you will be granted. So by all means, stay tuned with us, bear with us, because today's program is going to be very, very fantastic. As usual, it's going to be very, very knowledgeable, because the information that we're going to give you today is out of this world. For that reason, I would encourage you, if you have tuned in, if you are watching it on Facebook, call your brothers, call your sisters to basically tune into Fire Life Radio, because this is the place that you can get the real education. Like we say, if you educate a woman, you educate a nation. If you educate a man, you educate the individual. So it's for this reason that I always say it's important, especially the women, you tune into Fire Life Radio, because we know once you get the education, the men will be educated. So women, share the program with your friends, your loved ones. Persuade them to listen to the program, because it's gonna help them. They will gain a lot from listening to educated programs, just as such as ones that we do at the studios of Fire Life Radio. And I know that if you benefit them, it will also benefit you one way or the other. So it's important that we share the program. Mamiya Melting Kings, I know that you've tuned in, and I can see that you are sharing it. Thank you for that. Nana Asante, we know that you've also joined us. All those who have joined us, please share the program with your loved ones, so that at least let's educate ourselves. Every now and then it's sad. Like only yesterday, I just had it's not even a contact through Facebook, where someone that I know just telling me that she's been deported to Ghana. It's one of those things. So I will encourage you, to share the program with your family members, so at least when they get education, they can also benefit from it. Because it's not easy, to be in the Babylon. Like I say, this is like a concrete jungle. How do you survive in the concrete jungle? That is the topic for today. So we're going to be talking about the 10-year rule for children who have been born here, and the principle of Dolai Inkapa, or someone will say Doli Inkapa. Anyone who have studied a bit of criminology or criminal justice system will be familiar to this term. It's a Latin term called Dolai Inkapa, the age of criminal responsibility. If you transfer it into English, that is what you will say. So Dolai Inkapa, the age of criminal responsibility. It's always very important that, we start all this from historical perspective. People need to understand where we are, where we came from, and why we are here. So for me, it's very, very important that we start from somewhere, so that people can understand the principles underlying Dolai Inkapa and the age of criminal responsibility. We all know throughout ages, from history, we believe that children are innocent. Children do not know right from wrong. That is the presumption, that is the assumption that as human beings we always make. And I think it's right that as human beings we start from there, because at the end of the day, when children are born, a child doesn't know right from wrong. And therefore, it's how we raise children. Sometimes we shape their view about life and how they see life. And therefore, in this case, there is a principle that a child is innocent. A child doesn't know anything. And therefore, a child cannot commit a criminal offense. So in most countries, they have something called the age of criminal responsibility. That means a child have to reach a certain age before they can commit a criminal offense. And therefore, in criminal justice system, we call it the age of criminal responsibility, or dolai incapa. And therefore, for example, in this country, the age of criminal responsibility is 10 years of age. So that means any child who is above 10 is capable of committing a criminal offense. In this country, before someone can be convicted of a criminal offense, the person must have the mental state or the mental capability to commit that offense. And the person must also have what? The actus reus, i.e., the person must actually carry out the offense. So the person must have the criminal mind, the criminal intent, and the person must also have what? Must have carried out the offense. So if you are able to establish the actus reus and the mens rea, then of course a conviction can take place. So sometimes, for example, in an offense of murder, as an example, someone can commit murder, but the person will not be convicted of murder. The person can be convicted of maybe manslaughter. Let me give you an example. So I am driving a car, and someone jumped in front of me, and my car hit the person, and the person dies as a result. I have committed the offense because I was driving the car, and my car that I'm driving has killed someone, another human being. And therefore, the first thing that would happen is that I will be charged with the offense of maybe careless driving leading to death, murder. Then we need to assess whether I had the intention of actually killing the person. And therefore, as I was driving, maybe I'm supposed to do 30 kilometers per hour, and I'm doing 40 kilometers per hour. Though I've broken the law by overspeeding, the person jumped in front of me. I did not run into the person. And therefore, in that instance, it may be deemed that I did not have the mental capability or the mindset to kill that individual. And therefore, at that point, instead of being convicted of murder, I will be convicted of manslaughter because I did not have the mental capability, or I did not have the intention of killing the individual. So in this country, in order for someone to be convicted of a criminal offense, there must be the actus reus and the mens rea. There are certain offenses that we call them strict liability offenses, and therefore when it occurs, the penalty is strict. There is no point in proving anything. But generally speaking, when it comes to criminal law, majority of the offenses, such as ABH, GBH, offenses against the person, those offenses you may have to prove the actus reus and the mens rea in order to be able to convict someone with that offense. So that is that bit. And therefore, when it comes to today's topic, children as young as 10 in this country can commit a criminal offense, because at the age of 10, they are deemed to understand what they are doing. Sometimes it's possible that they may not even understand what they are doing, but the law is that once you reach the age of 10, you are capable of committing criminal offense. So it is for this reason that when you look at naturalization forms, for example, you will see that on the forms, at the age of 10, they will ask whether the child has got criminal record. Many at times, most parents, when they see that question, when lawyers ask them that question, they laugh. And what they say is this: how can a child commit criminal offense? A child can commit criminal offense because the age of criminal responsibility in this country is 10 years of age. Why is it 10 years of age? Now, let's go back to a bit of history of this country. During the 1990s, there was a case in this country, the killing of James Borger. James Borger was a toddler, and at a shopping center in Liverpool, this child was abducted or was kidnapped by two children. And these children were, I think they were about 12 and 13, called Terry Venables. And I can't remember the name of the other guy. Two of them. They kidnapped James Borger in a shopping center. James Borger was, shopping with her mother. And the mother lost track for 1 minute. He left the child, holding the child's hand. Before she knew, these two children have abducted this child. They took this child to a rail, where, trains actually passes. And basically, they stoned this child and killed this child. We call something moral panic. In this country, people started complaining that the law is too soft on criminals, on individuals. It matters not about the age of killers, child killers. As long as they have killed, the law must deal with them. At that point, I think the age of criminal responsibility was about 14, 15. And so therefore, there was not much that the criminal justice system could do to these child killers. And so therefore, not much that could be done. However, these children, i.e. Terry Venables and the other guy, they had to be sent to Young Children's Institution because there was a massive, public outcry in this country that these children, children are growing fast, too fast these days, and therefore the age of criminal responsibility have to be reduced. So through pressure, political pressure and moral panic in this country, the law had to be changed. And therefore, the age of criminal responsibility was reduced to 10 by virtue of the Crime and Disorder Act of 1998, Section 34. The presumption that a child under the age of 13, 14 cannot criminal offense was no longer applicable. It was reduced to 10. So now, since 1998, by virtue of the Crime and Disorder Act of 1998, any child under the age of 10 now is deemed that they cannot commit a criminal offense. So now, let's look at the law and its impact on immigration. I believe that by understanding why the law is how it is, it will make sense. Because many times people come to us and say the law doesn't make sense. We are society. We are the government. We make the law. What we say is what the politicians do, at least in theory. But in practice, it may be different. But where society get up and stand up and start shouting and screaming, politicians take notice and it changes the law. Sometimes it changes the law for good. Sometimes it changes the law for bad. And therefore, for you and I, in this particular case, one will argue when it comes to naturalization or registration of children as British citizens, then of course you will see that the law does not really make that much sense. Whether it makes sense or not, once again, I think it will depend on where you stand on the political spectrum. So we're going to look at the law in relation to children and naturalization. We all know, or even if you don't know, the law is this, under British Nationality Act Section 1(3). A child born in this country, if the child is able to prove that he or she was born in this country and has been residing in this country for continuous period of 10 years, such a child is eligible to apply for British citizenship by virtue of the fact that the child has been born in this country and the child has remained in the UK or has resided in the UK for a continuous period of 10 years, regardless of whether the mother has got a stay or not, whether the father has got a stay or not. As long as the child can prove that he or she has been residing in the UK for a continuous period of 10 years. When we come to continuous period, it does not mean that the child must not have traveled outside the UK. If the child has had a holiday or something to that effect, that is fine. And the good thing is there is no residential requirement when it comes to the 10 years. And therefore, all that you need to prove that the child has been resident in the UK for a continuous period of 10 years. The child was born in the UK, apart from short breaks on holidays, and the child has always come back to the UK, and therefore UK is the child's home. That is all that needs to be proven before the child can qualify for British citizenship. Now, we have something called Section 55 of Immigration Nationality Act. Section 55 says that when Home Office have making decisions concerning children, they must do what is in the best interest of the child. Also, we look at the Children's Act of 1989, Section 1. It also says the same thing, that when decision makers, especially the local authorities and the council, and as well as government agencies, including the Home Office and the courts, when they are making decisions concerning children, they must do what? The interest of the child must be paramount. When it comes to a child, the interest of the child must be paramount. This is what the law says. Now let's look at the Crime and Disorder Act of 1998. It also says, who is a child? A child, generally speaking, in this country, is someone under the age of 18 years is deemed to be a child. That is the reason why, if you are under 18, you cannot vote, because it is deemed that you cannot make decisions, or you cannot make right decisions. On the other hand, the law says that if you are 10 or over, you can commit criminal offense because you understand. So if you understand to make the, you understand enough to be able to commit criminal offense, then you have to be able to understand enough to be able to vote or make decisions about your life. So you see the contradictions in the law. So sometimes the law doesn't make sense, but it is what it is, and therefore all that we need to do as lawyers is to interpret the law and argue the best that we can to get the law changed, and perhaps to for the laws to change for the better. So now we have, on one hand, the Crime Disorder Act of 1998, Section 34, telling us someone over the age of 10 can commit a criminal offense because they have the mental capacity to think for themselves, to know what is wrong and what is right, and to be able to carry out an offense. And therefore, if they carry out an offense, they must be punished, on one hand. On the other hand, you have Section 55, Section 1 of the Children's Act of 1989, telling us that children are children, they are under the age of 18, and therefore their interest is paramount. So, when it comes to naturalization or registration of children as British citizens, unfortunately, the law does not discriminate between adults and those over the age of 18. And therefore, there has been as many as 400 children who have been denied British citizenship in the last 5 years, on the basis of what we call a good character. A good character. Good character means you must not have a criminal record. Good character means you have not done anything that will put your character in question. And therefore, 400 children for the past 5 years. And therefore, if you look at it, 80 children every year are being refused British citizenship application because of what? Because of bad character. And most of these children have been refused because of police caution. Police have cautioned them. We all have been children before, like Bob Marley say, once a man, twice a child. We've all been children before. You go to a corner shop, you look around, no one is looking, and maybe you take a candy, you take a sweet, you put it in your mouth, and then off you go, of the shop. I'm not here to condone such behavior. But these are minor things that children do. Sometimes they do it not because they like doing it. Sometimes they do it to prove to their children that they are smart, they are sharp. It goes to show how children think and how they process information. So criminalization of children, arguably, some will argue, doesn't help anyone. Because once a child gets caution, you see some of the impact. Application for naturalization can be refused on the basis that a child has gone to a shop and perhaps, stolen a candy or stolen a sweet. So the society that we live in now, it seems to me there's too much criminalization going on. Some generations ago, they will not criminalize children like that. A child come and steal a sweet. You get the child, you call the parents, you get the parents to pay for it, and you tell the parents, the child will get a little bit of a lick from the parent and maybe the storekeeper. But today, it is almost impossible to do that as a storekeeper because you can be done for an assault or maybe occasional bodily harm. So society is changing. On one side, I can understand the argument. But on the other side, the criminalization of children will breed criminalization of adults. And criminalization of adults will mean that this individual's life becomes what? Becomes messed up. So if someone cannot find a job and the person has to make a living, what do you think the person is going to do? Either the person will go into drugs, the person perhaps will go into robbery. This is some of the arguments that people have put across. Some people will say, once you do that to them, it changes their path of life. Today, we will give a practical example about a lady who has suffered abuse from a husband, and one day, possibly she retaliated. I don't want to step ahead, but we will come to that. So, because of this called bad character, now a lot of children are now facing this dilemma. Some people will say when you take a caution, it doesn't matter. Of course it matters. Today, we will talk about police caution, how it affects adults, and what we can do as people to avoid, and whether it is good to take a caution or whether to challenge the caution and go to court and test your faith. We will come to that. I've seen so many people who have come to me. Unfortunately, they've already taken the caution, not knowing the impact of the caution and how it could affect their job opportunities, their education opportunities, and even their traveling plans. Places that they can travel to and places that they cannot travel to. Today is going to be fantastic because we're going to go through, we're going to break it down into pieces so that we know where we stand. It's important that we tune in and listen to what is coming. Because a lot of people are making mistakes. I have seen people just, accepting something that they are not guilty of. Just recently, there is an England cricketer, Alexander Cook. I think there was an issue, some altercation at a nightclub. And some drunkards were teasing people that I think he knows. And these people were gay couple. And I think these people were teasing them for being gay. So he stood up, he stepped in, and basically he battered these people. Because these people were being violent towards him. And he said that he did that in self-defense. In the end, there was a police case against him. CPS brought charges against him. When I first heard the case, I was thinking, but if this guy just took the punishment, that would be the end of it. Why is he fighting this case? He fought all the case to the end, and in the end, he was found innocent of the offense because it was a self-defense. Self-defense is a defense in law, and therefore, he was acquitted of the offense that he was charged. So today, if you know you have not done the crime, if you know that what you are being accused of is not true, don't just sit there that, oh, I don't want to go through the hassle. I've been told caution is nothing. It doesn't show on my criminal record. Today, we are going to explain, we are going to go through the impact of caution on individuals. It's very, very important that we understand the effect of caution before we sit down and accept any charge or any allegation that we may not even be guilty of. It's very, very, very important. So children at the age of 10 going can commit a criminal offense. You have a child is telling you, Mom, Dad, I did not do this. And you are being persuaded to accept the charges. Oh, it's just a slap on the wrist. Don't worry. It's not going to go on your son's criminal record. It's not going to go on your child's criminal record. I'm not here to make the decision for you. I'm here to enlighten you so that we look at the effect. Should it happen to your child, then you can make the decision for yourself. I always say this, if you don't understand anything, in this country, there is nothing without consequences. I will encourage you to seek legal advice before accepting any police caution. That is the advice that I can give you. That is what I can tell you today. So in terms of caution, it does affect good character. In terms of caution, it does affect good character for children as well as for adults. So if you're an adult, there has been an incident. Police has been called. You've been told that, oh, caution is not a criminal offense. It will not show on your DBS report. And therefore, there is nothing to be worried about. And therefore, just accept the caution so that we will bring the matter to an end. Is that as simple? Today, we're going to go through and we see the impact of police caution on individuals. Now, we've just talked about immigration side of it, i.e., if there is a caution against you, it can affect your application for naturalization. It can also affect your application for indefinite leave to remain. So if someone tells you caution doesn't matter, of course it does matter. And caution, sometimes, issues that lead to individuals being cautioned is something, sometimes they are so petty stuff. I will encourage us to be very, very careful the way we communicate with people. Sometimes when your the way you communicate come across as aggressive and threatening, you have to be very, very careful. When you are talking to someone, there is no need to shout. I have seen cases that the individual was shouting, and therefore it was interpreted that individual was being aggressive, and that the other person was scared, and therefore if the person is scared and the person genuinely believes that you are going to use unreasonable force on that person, it could be construed as an assault. So we need to be very, very careful about this. If, for example, I'm having arguments with you, and I keep telling you that I'm going to thump you, that I'm going to box you, I'm going to hit you, and I'm coming towards you aggressively, like Muhammad Ali, sting like a butterfly, you know, then of course, you know, fly like a bee or sting like a bee, fly like a butterfly, then of course you're going to create the impression that I'm going to do what? I'm going to do damage to you. If you genuinely believe that I'm going to use unreasonable force on you, of course, it could be construed as what? As an assault. So sometimes it's not about just hitting someone that leads to an assault, but the fact that I have made the attempt, you know, to cause damage, GBH or ABH, then of course it could be construed as what? As an assault. If I'm shouting that I'm going to damage you, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that to you, and the person genuinely believes that what I'm saying, I'm going to carry it out, and the person is scared that I'm going to use unreasonable force, in law, it can be construed as an assault. If I pick up a phone, for example, and I call your number, as soon as you pick up the phone, I start breathing heavily on the phone. Or I start telling you that I'm coming to your house to hurt you. Maybe in your head you think it's a joke. As long as the person genuinely believes that someone is stalking him or her, someone is going to do damage to him or her, it's an assault. So we have to be very careful. If, for example, I work with you, you are a lady, we are at a workplace, and say I joke with you, you in your head, you say you are joking with the person. So, for example, you know, we have a bit of casual relationship, maybe platonic friendship. Every now and then, oh, I will slap your back. That can be construed as an assault. I have seen someone, you know, a case came before me, work colleagues, a man and a woman. They work together. The man was even giving the woman lift after work. One day, the man said, oh, we were just joking. I touch a bottles. I touch a bum. As a joke, I slap a bum. The woman said, no way, that is an assault. The woman reported the man. The man got fired from work straight away. Another one, he touched a woman's breast. I don't know why his hand was doing there. But to him, he thought that it was a joke. Because when the man see him, the man slap his back, the woman slap his bum. So he saw the woman, he was, you know, touching the shoulder, and the woman moved, and therefore the hand touched the woman's breast. And therefore, the woman claimed that she's been assaulted. So these are some of the things that, you know, maybe you did not have the intention, you see. So the circumstances of each case would determine whether the individual, the accuser, has the mens rea, the mental intention to actually commit the offense. Because as the examples that I've given, no doubt that the man touched the woman's breast, and therefore the actus reus has been established. Then, did he have the mind, the mental mind, and the mental guilt to actually touch that part of the body? If the answer is no, and you have been told just accept police caution, and you accept it, then you are looking for fire, you are looking for problem, you are looking for trouble. So it is very, very important that before you accept any caution, someone will say caution is nothing, it's just a reprimand. It's not nothing, it's something. Today we are going to look at it, the effect on your DBS in terms of caution, how long it can stay on your report. We talk about standard disclosure, basic disclosure, and enhanced disclosure. And we talk about filtering. It's very, very important that we understand these things. I've seen people taking caution, which they should not have. But unfortunately, at the time, they did not have this knowledge. And as a result, they thought by accepting caution, that would be the end of their problem. But I say to you, caution is something that we need to treat very, very serious. So this will take me nicely to caution, police caution, its implications, and the effect on your future life, particularly if you are employed or looking to work in certain professions, such as teaching, nursing, and so on and so forth. When you talk about caution, caution simply means a reprimand or a warning from the police. So, for example, instead of being prosecuted and going through the criminal justice system, you just accept the caution so that the case ends there. So when we talk about caution, caution is immediately spent. As soon as you get a caution, it is deemed that it is spent under rehabilitation of the Offenders Act of 1974 as amended. And therefore, generally speaking, when you do basic disclosure, many a times it will not show on your criminal record. If it does not show on your criminal record, does not mean that the caution is not there. Because if someone does enhance disclosure, it's going to show. If someone does police national computer check or report, it's going to show. And therefore, certain jobs such as teaching, nursing, you may still have to disclose it when you apply for work. And it is important that you need to explain how it came about. Because if I am a recruiting officer, for example, and I see that you have a police caution, straight away, we as human beings, we have our own prejudice and stereotypes. So straight away, I will start thinking that this person may not be a good person. That is the reason why he has got what? He has got this caution. So it is important that before you accept caution, you seek legal advice. The question is, when are cautions given? Cautions can be issued at the discretion of the police as a formal warning to somebody who admits to committing a criminal offense. You see the trick here. Admission of the guilt. Confession. So if you know that you have not committed offense, why do you admit it? A typical example is our children in this country. Sometimes a child can go to school and make an allegation against the parent that if I go home, my mother will beat me. If I go home, my father will beat me. If I go home, my parents will beat me. And sometimes they will say, well, I've seen my mother beating my father, or I've seen my father beating my mother. This is no joke, because me see so many cases come before me. And these are normal issues that it happens to a lot of people all the time. You know, in this country, the thing is this. Nobody wants to tell people about their business because of gossiping and the way we judge people. So many a times when it is going on in the household, a lot of people don't cry for help. But I am so happy that those people who came to me for help, by the spirit of this, by the spirit of the Lord Almighty, and the knowledge that He's giving to man, I was able to correct, direct them, for them to do the right thing and get off from that problem and that situation. Very, very important. So today I'm going to give this practical example, just in case someone is facing the same situation. then you have to be very careful by accepting a caution. Because in this country, something called reasonable chastisement is reasonable within the law. So if my child, for example, is been messing about, and I say, you go to school, you mess about, if you come home, I'm gonna whoop you. And the child goes to school and report me to the teacher that, well, I've done this. If I go home, my father is going to beat me. And the teachers call social services and the police and whatnot to get involved. And police come to you and they tell you to take a caution. And you know that basically you chastise your children within reason, and therefore it cannot amount to an abuse. Why take the caution? This is the question that I am asking. Because the thing is this: when it comes to chastisement, the law says that it's got to be reasonable. It doesn't say that you must never chastise your child. So if I say to my child, if you go to school and you disrespect your teachers, for example, if you go to school and you mess about, for example, and I say, if I get any report that you are being abusive, that you are being disrespectful, that you are not learning at school, and I get any report to that nature, I'm not going to be happy with you, and I will reasonably chastise you. And the child goes and reports to a teacher, social services are called, police are called, and you are telling me, Lawyer David Darkon, to take a caution for telling my child that I will, within the law, reasonable, chastise the child. I don't see any criminal offense being committed here. So, when you take a caution, listen to this. A caution can be issued at the discretion of the police as a formal warning to somebody who admits to committing a criminal offense. So if police tell you that accept the caution is nothing, it means if you accept it, you have accepted that you have committed criminal offense. This is a situation that I'm telling my child, that if you disrespect your teachers, if you lose your coat, if you lose your shoes, if you do A, B, C, D, and E, I will reasonably chastise you, which is within the law. And at the same time, I am telling police that I am accepting that I have committed criminal offense. It makes no sense. And therefore, we need to be very, very careful how we accept cautions. Because accepting caution means it what? It is admissible. You know, you're admitting admissibility. You are admitting that you have committed the offense. And therefore, we need to be very, very careful and understand why caution is there and when caution are issued or how it can be issued. So if you're not admitting the offense, do not accept the caution. Caution is a quick and useful tool for the police to give first-time offenders who have committed relatively minor offenses. Minor offenses, first-time offenders. So once you accept the caution, that means you have accepted that you have committed what? A criminal offense. Areas of life which may be affected by a caution. You see, the impression that is created is that once you accept a caution, or problem solved, you go away about your business. But let's look at areas of life by accepting caution and its effect. We've talked about the immigration side of it. A child under the age of 10 is fine, cannot commit a criminal offense by virtue of Section 34 of the Crime and Disorder Act of 1998. So that is fine. However, if you are over the age of 10, you can commit a criminal offense. Children and adults. So, by way of caution, if, for example, your child is now 12, The child was born in this country. Unfortunately, when the child was 10 years of age, you did not have any money to do what? To register the child as British citizen. The child got into a fighter school, for example, and now it has become a police issue, and police have come to you and telling you, oh, let's give your child a caution. If you accept the caution, if the child makes application for British citizenship, the application could be refused on the basis of bad character. It's important that we understand these principles. If you are an adult and you are giving police caution and you are making an application for British citizenship and you don't disclose it, that application could be refused. If you disclose it, of course, we say caution is immediately spent under the Rehabilitation of the Offenders Act, and therefore you need to disclose it, and therefore you need to justify that it is what it is spent by virtue of the Offenders Rehabilitation Act. So we need to bear this in mind in terms of immigration, so it can have effect on immigration applications for children and also for adults. Let's look at employment. If you are applying for a job which is covered by the Rehabilitation of the Offenders Act, you will need to disclose a caution, and it will never appear on the basic criminal record check. Basic criminal record check cautions will not be disclosed. However, on your police national data computer, the caution is still going to be there. And most jobs, especially the jobs that are called sensitive jobs, working with vulnerable people, they will do these checks, both police check and criminal record check. And if there is a hint of a criminal record, straight away people start panicking. They start thinking, who am I employing? So we need to bear that in mind. It's not that simple. So there are jobs that are also not covered by the Rehabilitation of the Offenders Act, because something basic disclosure will not show caution. However, standard and enhanced level of DBX will show your caution. So police amount caution is going to show. So it is not that simple when people say, well, it will not show on your criminal record. It will depend on the type of job that you are going to do and the type of report or search that your proposed employer will make. So for example, standard and enhanced disclosure will show your police cautions. Some of them is subjected to a process called filtering. Filtering, I will explain that as we go along. And therefore, it's very, very important that we understand these cautions. There are certain offenses that can never go through filtering. Filtering is a process whereby after certain times has elapsed, the agency that provide the report will not disclose those offenses. It will depend on your age and the type of offense and when it was committed. I will come to that. So now we see that in terms of employment, you could seriously be affected through your employment. So we need to bear that in mind, depending on the type of job that you are going to do. I will say this as an example. I had someone coming to see me about 4 years ago. This person was given a caution in 1977 for smoking marijuana. Someone will say weed, someone will say herbs. 1977. The person told me that Bob Marley came to UK doing a show, and he attended the show. And, basically, reggae, unfortunately, some people have associated with cannabis, weed, ganja, marijuana. So he was smoking it, not on the ground of the concert, but after the concert, and when he was leaving, going home, he was still smoking it. So Hammersmith, and he was arrested by the police, and he was given a caution. His understanding was that it's okay. Oh, it's just a caution. It's just a slap on the wrist. He thought that was it. So he took the caution. This guy got a job as a driver, driving vulnerable people, going to places. And for one reason or the other, the local authority in the year 2014 contracted that type of, that side of the job to a private agency. So the private agency have to carry out new DBS enhanced check. And when they did it, it came up that this guy have a police caution from 1977. When they look at his application form that he completed in the 1980s, when he went for the job, he did not disclose that he's got a police caution, because he was of the view that cautions are spent as soon as you accept the caution. And therefore, he didn't think that it was relevant or it will show on his criminal record check. This guy got fired from his work because it was believed that he failed to disclose a criminal caution or conviction. So this is some of the problems that people can face by accepting caution in relation to employment. Now let's look at the effect on education. It is generally believed that a caution is unlikely to affect your ability to study at college or university for majority of courses, as you will usually only be asked to disclose unspent cautions/convictions. However, if you are considering applying for a course which would involve working with children or vulnerable adults, and where an enhanced disclosure and barring services check will be required, then you will need to disclose your caution. Depending on the nature of the offense, you may be refused entry into a course. So, example. So the caution is that you have beaten up an old woman. You have accepted a caution. Now, you want to go and do adult nursing, and you are going to school to do the course. Of course, as you are doing the course, they will put you on placement, and you have to work with adults. The fact that you have beaten an adult before in the past will make the educational institution think twice, and perhaps it could affect your ability to get a place in the course of study. So, caution, these are some of the problems that you could encounter. Let's look at insurance. Cautions are spent immediately under the Rehabilitation of the Offenders Act. We do understand that. And therefore, irrespective of what type of insurance you are applying, you will never need to disclose your simple caution to an insurer. This is the case no matter what question an insurer asks you. So, it will depend on the question that insurance may pose. Generally speaking, The insurance forms will ask you whether you have unspent caution or unspent conviction. However, if they ask you whether you have any caution or conviction, then you have to disclose it. And this perhaps may affect your premium, or perhaps the insurance company will probably walk away from you. Now, let's look at traveling. If you are traveling, or if you are looking to travel or work overseas, it's possible that you will need to apply for a visa together with a police certificate. This certificate will include details of all convictions, reprimands, warnings, and cautions, unless they are eligible to be stepped down, depending on the nature of the offense. The disclosure of a caution may result in your visa being refused. I will use this as an example because I know of a case that came before me once again. This is a gentleman who basically had an issue with his employer. And basically there was a bit of altercation. The employer did not want to pay him his wages. And he went there. It led to a bit of an argument. He got a bit angry. And to him, you know, he was walking outside the shop, and basically by mistake, he badged a table containing plates, and the plates went down and cracked. The employer called the police. The police came in, and they told him, oh, it's just a caution. Oh, just accept a caution, and it's not such a big deal. He thought that was it, so he accepted the caution. A year later, he applied for American visa. The visa was refused. He was told that he's got a criminal record. Whilst cautions are not really criminal records, but it stays on the police national computer. And therefore, if anyone asks for certificate, police certificate, it's going to show. So when you are taking caution, be aware of this and be very, very careful. Let's look at effect on future court appearances. Court proceedings are exempt from the Rehabilitation of the Offenders Act, and therefore, if you are attending court as either a defendant or a witness, your caution may be disclosed in any future court appearances. So if someone wants to undermine you, the person can bring your caution into play and say that this person cannot be trusted. This person is a wife beater. He beat up his wife, and now someone has beaten his wife up and is coming to defend the person. Can this person be trusted? You see, allegations can be made against you. And therefore, it's important that we are aware of these consequences before we accept any police cautions. Basic criminal record checks. Like I said, under the Rehabilitation of the Offenders Act, cautions become spent immediately and will therefore never be disclosed on a basic criminal record check. Basic, but standard and enhanced is going to show. Standard and enhanced DBS checks, cautions will always be disclosed on standard and enhanced checks unless they are eligible for filtering. If your caution is eligible for filtering, then after the relevant period, 6 years if you were over the age of 18 when you receive it, and 2 years if under 18, it will be filtered from the standard or enhanced certificate and will no longer be disclosed. So therefore, if a policeman tells you that, oh, you should just accept it, you need to take all this into consideration. We talked about filtering. Filtering. Who is eligible for filtering? And when we talk about filtering, what is it? Filtering is a process where the DBS company will not disclose certain police cautions on your DBS report. they will not disclose it if it is enhanced or standard disclosure after a period of years. So that is called filtering. Filtering means basically taking it away or taking it off. But some of them are not eligible for filtering. It stays there forever. Typical example is this. These offenses, let's look at this, are eligible for filtering. Common assault is eligible for filtering. Drunk and disorderly is eligible for filtering. Many motoring offenses is eligible for filtering. Drug offenses only involving possession is eligible for filtering. Theft, where no violence is involved, is eligible for filtering. That means after a period of years, which in this case is 6 years for an adult, 2 years for a child, they are eligible for filtering, i.e., after 6 years of the accepting the caution, it will come out from your DBS check, i.e., enhance, and also the basic, the standard one. Basic one, it will not show, but enhance and the standard one, it will show until after 6 years from the date of the caution. If you are under the age of 18, it's 2 years. Let's look at some of the offenses that are not eligible for filtering. Offenses involving violence. So, for example, maybe you are fighting with your husband. This is something that happens. And the typical example that I'm going to give, that is exactly what happened. And you can only sympathize with this woman. I will give this example. Maybe you live with your husband or your wife. Your partner is abusive, always abusing you. One day you get so angry, you want to get out of the house. This person is in your way, standing on the doorway, telling you that you are not going anywhere. You try to go, push you back. You get angry, you come with full force, and you push this person, the person fall. As soon as he fall, he injured himself. You call the ambulance come in. What happened? My husband, my wife pushed me. Problem come. So, police get involved. What happened? Oh yeah, we were having an argument, and unfortunately, I pushed my partner. You see, this country, the law is funny sometimes. If you push someone and the person fell or the person falls, and there is a break of the body, i.e., a blood comes out from the falling, you know it can be classified as GBH, grievous bodily harm. The fact that the person's body has broken, it amplifies the offense. So instead of maybe occasional bodily harm, it can now becomes GBH. It depends on the seriousness of the cut or the of the injury. So the person can then, you can then be done for GBH. So offenses involving violence, you push the person with full force, and therefore it's a violent act. And therefore, in this respect, in this case, in this respect, it could be seen that basically you have done what? You have committed a violent offense. A violent offense is what? It's not eligible for filtering. So it's going to stay on your DBS report, for enhanced report, and also for standard report for the rest of your lives. So we really need to understand this. There are also offenses about safeguarding offenses. Maybe you are an adult, a position of trust. You are supposed to safeguard children and therefore you have been accused of maybe some type of offense that is disgusting, so I don't even want to mention or give any particular example. Position of trust, and you're abusing children. And say, for example, the evidence wasn't strong enough, or maybe you have accepted a caution. Once again, it's not eligible for filtering. Sexual offenses, I don't want to go into details. We know what they are. Example, rape. Example, molesting, child molestation, pedophilia. All these are sometimes sexual offenses. You could be done for. And if you accept a caution, for example, because there isn't sufficient evidence, it's not eligible for filtering. Drugs offenses that involve supply is going to stay on your record forever. But those offenses that are eligible for filtering, common assault, drunk and disorderly, many motoring offenses, drug offenses only involving possession, theft, where no violence is involved, those are eligible for filtering. After 6 years, your DBX report enhanced and also standard is not going to do what show. Let's look at this example. We will take a break, and when we come back, we go to the main immigration, the 10 years and the 20 years rules, and what is it that you need to do to secure yourself. I call it the concrete jungle, surviving in the concrete jungle. This is a lady here, and the story is very, very, very sad. And this is a woman who wanted to work for the NHS. Her story is as follows. She was in an abusive relationship for so many years. And I think she lost it. Because when you abuse so, woman especially, you abuse a woman so much, it comes to a point that the ability to think also reduces. So in this country, we call something battered women syndrome. BWS, battered women syndrome, where unfortunately some men abuse women psychologically, physically, so much so that the woman loses her mind. And this is the case that the woman or the man claimed that the woman has assaulted him. And the woman does not even remember what actually happened. But she was in such abusive relationship for so many years. So it's possible that in one of the cases she lost it and probably strike the man. In the end, police came in, the man made allegation against the wife. The wife was told that, oh, it's just a caution, it's just a slap on the wrist, and blah, 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 blah. So this woman accepted the caution. In the end, she came out of this abusive relationship. And she decided to do something for herself. So she went and did courses about nursing. After the course, she went for an interview. She claims that she had a brilliant interview. And then what happened? She was going to get a job. They did a DBS check, and it showed that she's got a caution. She said that she did not think that what had happened was such a big deal. She didn't think that it would even be on a record. But it was. And she was told that because of that, the job that she has applied for, she was successful at the interview. She was going to be given the job. But unfortunately, the job could not be offered to her because of the criminal record. So that is what happened in this particular case. She cried and cried and cried, but she never gave up. So she kept applying for jobs. And another job that she applied for, once again, when it came to the criminal record check, the caution, unfortunately, she ticked the wrong box by mistake. Instead of taking yes, I have a caution, she ticked no. What happened? She went through the interview and everything. They did the DBS check and it showed again. So she was called. Now, why did she do that? Why did she not disclose it? Once again, she did not get a job. But lessons were learned. So what did she do? Third job, she disclosed it and put in a mitigation. How it happened and why it happened. And now she is in a job. The job that she enjoys, now working for the NHS. Because when it comes to an assault, after 6 years, it will not show on your disclosure report. But she was lucky enough to disclose it, and now she's working for the NHS. So when you are told that caution is nothing, think about these things. Because if you have not admitted the offense, if you know that you have not done it, do not accept the caution, because it has consequences. So this is something that we need to, I will say, to be very careful about. We should not be persuaded just to accept a caution just like that, because it has impact. We will take a commercial, we will take a break, and when we come back, we will do the 10 years and the 20-year rules on the basis of long residency, what the law says, what you should look for, and then we will take it from there.
Na eba no say no do pay na mi nyede ya edroboni na mi numwana anase mi kosha konfo se obi do wa hunwana na ini wuki kanu na mi ti o are chichire mi do unim se if you only power Sophia, I say, you good, then or dancing, and I'm also namete or dancing. As I feel and say, I keep me on, I feel no way. Fire aji wonwa ya friend no pai wo se mafumu wa katremi na mimpa ucha na nyese yeja yo kwe arira chichire mi do unimse if you only power ababa we eyimi mo eyinanwa edikonsio no bana Sophia, I say, you share good, and you may see me one boat track. Ya may piano from a song. And I'm Venus, and I'm Venus, and you. Mama tafanya mio if you only power ababa we eyini mo eyina no edi konsio no bana say yo Sophia na say If you're on the power,
Sena ho fenana ekume. Yes, fena efe. Look at the 10-year rule and the 20-year rules on long residency. The myths are and for a day after the 20-year rule. Neso. So now you did not see Emma Friends of Media UK Emilia TV did not see That was a P for your continuous support to justice and law solicitors. Sana etie say o de se de ofru duapano ana ye piano. Michael Essien also yeda was a P. Paco Shipping, our sponsors, Omuntia, Yedit program me etimi bremo every Saturday. Sasuna Justice and Law Solicitors. Elegant Chic and Divine Imprint. Muna Yedamase, ese every Saturday, Biamutimi Esoyensa, Nasamosoya se, Emayedi program, no Ebremo. Ene oma omo support to ye oma omo ye ejuma wa henyi nara oma omo dedicate us. Ma mission chi kasa akrajo mo Divine Imprint Boss Lady Bako pe ubini nenim na ubisusu endi nechi. DJ Mahama, the DJ of the year. Bebieu DJ Kobe. Just a dini die obebo ana akosi sei obebo unweda. Obi biara or support to radio station be so yedamase. And our listeners, without you, there can be no us. A job watching, yedawase baby, I will be a chia. We say a job watching for radio and a mini ajekwa. And then the Nasema Emilia pa, yes. Madam Catherine Terrier, the Nasema. Maybe I will be a chia. Mame Adenten was your chana na hema adenti ya chiacha baby a wubia. Sasina mame Boatima or East London Hackney baby a wubia so your chiacha. Na ama osuso your chiacha baby a wubia. Sasina shika also baby a wubia your chiacha. And Ruth Kumpong, good morning to you too. Pastor Ovin, baby, I will be as your church and Mompaba Modi Tayachi. Some who did you through she. Yeah, you want to know a serious so. You are the dinechi, what? I see a seno, now all lawyer be James or Bebuano. If he's attacking a bar one so the beba. Attacking the bow. So for dear chin and pabom dear chin, easy. Emma Yatin Quema Tembi nya dwene nya hoden de adwuma papa ema Ghana for ye can suffer papa na ye can Pastor Dear Christ the Livingstone asafo ye dara wasipi Pastor Owen baby I will be a chia ye dara wasipi Sasusuna Mr. Edward ya will be as ye chia ye dara wasipi we are saying make cannot say abwa kwa do bia I'm the big tomb, Bokum, the big fita. So, ya so now what? I am now on a fed the door. Tico creativity will be a name. Nanahima identity a chacha or Sunani Hima. Snahima as soon any ba. Chacha will be a lawyer now. They would get it to one him fear now. So you're gonna need us when I'm ready and I can say. And now you're about 10 year and 20 year rules on a long residency. Share the program, tell your friends, people to tune in so that they can listen to the vibes. Edamasipi, Afi and Fashisha Sunayanko. Yes, Obi Ohwa na watine kromwa 10 years. Watiti said, watine kromwa for 10 years. Ubetimi aye application at the Ako Home Office. Minya text message ka krenti na machama no kakra no because amam for se brofone dos nti yen kantwi ni bi na so emwa wo mo. Enti no ahane de me se me ka ne twi na ebeboa ye ewo ekwan bebre so. Basically yenye ne sambo me fi se ebeboa ene mo beboa yenye ne sa yen ka ne twi no. Okay, yen ka twi na afi yen koyenim obu a watena for 10 years watete say watena for 10 years ubitimi aye application for leave to remain and I say indefinite leave to remain on the basis of long residency. Now long residency a 10-year route no eno ewo paragraph 276B of the immigration rules. eno na etimi ma ho kwan ema obi a watena kromo 10 years eye application for indefinite leave to remain. But there are complications. Emrane say watena ha for 10 years eno no mom no enkyere se watena for 10 years into your application na e was say yede amount. The first hurdle to overcome and say you must live in the UK lawfully for continuous period of 10 years. Enti emra emawu ehun kwan esetina ekromua continuously for what? For 10 solid years. So uti kromua na chese unti ha lawfully ya eno ne chese you are disqualified from making such an application under the 10-year rule. Enunti no se uye overstayer anase one fa visa mekrumu anoma. Let me say no, you need to count yourself out. Ese obeye such an application. Na emom se wetimi atena kromwa continuously for 10 years. Na se satam nyina no wo visa oditum odetianamo. Na se umum rane so dia enie 10-year route no ubetimi idea ayesa application. However, even that crowd emrane say you must not have lived outside the UK for more than 6 months at any one time. Entino say wakotena outside the UK for more than 6 months and also so you are disqualified. Enti and also so yen shenenso. Also no, they will take into consideration the criminality test, whether you have any criminal or unspent conviction. And you know, these are the things that I will say yefini ye. And since 10 years no, said what could prison cry na and no a breaky continuous residency no. Say ukita visa ana wodi akọ outside. Ana wasa akọ apply na asade ababe wrema. And no, as long as it's one spending more than 28 days outside the United Kingdom, no, na se uko apply na side be rema account towards your 10 years lawful residency. Enti eno ubitimi edi ubitimi account towards the 10 years residency. Na 10 years residency na ayana ehun ensheda ehia enkrofo papa ayana 14 years no eno na ehun ehia nkrofo. But yenim says since 2012 emrani change ama say instead of 14 years no ye dey call 20 years. Eno ababeye how ama yenuanum pi. Na say 20-year rule no, it is covered by paragraph 276 ADE 1 small 3 of the immigration rules. Under the 20-year rule no, a person does not have to live in the UK lawfully, but simply continuously. The definition of continuous residence is just say we free a kromua empoa, then you must have some sort of visa. Say okay, no sabai. And basically, UK has been your home for 20 years. You have not stayed outside the UK for more than 6 months. Say upie empo anakwaje visa sabi remu at some point. You would not have spent more than 28 days outside the UK when you went for the visa to re-enter the UK. And to say utimi prove that means continuous residence, you know, you'll be able to satisfy that requirement. Enti eno yen shenenso. The 20-year rule no, eno they will take into consideration, and I said what will prevent a person from qualifying for the 20-year rule. The only requirement they say, you have to be able to satisfy the suitability grounds and then a character no esa take character no and then a asem no. And it's a okoji police caution. Get yourself ready because it can become a problem. Say a criminal record, it can become a problem. Ebia wuntua TV license near barbecho and also so no yama fine at the magistrate court, it can become a problem. And it's a good character there, very, very important in any type of application that you submit to the Home Office or that you intend to submit to the Home Office. Very, very, very important. And the mechanic say application biabe in Home Office no okwakoya. Yan sonson ye ho na yamfa ye ho ankoto asemu because eno an ekotwetwe ensem ebre ye nuanom ene enipa ne bi mu. Enti no good character eno na ombe check yahwe. And you must make a valid application for leave. Obi oha otifie ono ya nadwene se wo ye lawyer ono abe an application akotro wrong application form or the konya ni sika koshim or sinkrofo itimo den obu a will take risk, unnecessary risk ono abeka so mema de yes ekromu amra de sebio bibia no sebio what me ya de nobody can force you not to do whatever you want as long as you are not committing criminal offense. You can do stuff yourself. But the reality, if it goes wrong bad. The stress I become ebimo ayoma de ama omajuma kra abowomo because what? Because on the application a call employers biso say where is the evidence at HSO application in the Home Office? Or some they call employers, where is the evidence? The person was unable to come up with any evidence. Recently, I did a case that employer called me. I said, well, your client has given us a letter from the Home Office and it looked fake. Is it true that it came from Home Office? I have to go back to the employer with the copy of the letter and explain it to the employer that unfortunately this is what Home Office issued, because it seems to me that when they were printing the letter, their ink was running out. So you could see that, some of it is a bit faded and it looks a bit suspicious. I do understand. And I was able to explain it to the employer. Employer said, well, I will take it from you. You have confirmed it to me. I've made my notes. I've put it on record on my file. And therefore, I'm happy. Your client can start, work. With that lawyer, the person could have gone and sit home for about 2-3 months. And he would have lost 2-3 months' money. If you are paying your lawyer, you're not going to pay your lawyer even 1 month's wages. And why is it that, paying money to lawyers to do a job, some people find it so difficult? I do not understand. Bantima Bafo was me chacha, also be a sika should be butum. And if as an sanity, Sikano, it goes round in cycles. So one spend there, we soon spend the MIA employer. And the money have to go around, be a sika should be butum. Baby, you have to pay, you pay. Baby, I have to pay, I have to pay. So that economy na idea, take Emma Ubiana, Amaya Koyanim. And where you need to spend, you need to spend. Where you need to save, you need to save. And also you need to prove, say, what's in the UK for at least 20 years continuously. And no, you need evidence to represent each year what in a chromo. And in South Chromua, na say ebia year bia uko GP na medical record ebwao. Or bank account pretty HSO chromo nya bank statements ning it me bwao. Say empo oba empo na o on krata net me ya adwuma kakra and our evidence at Inland Revenue and as a personal bank statements nina etimiboa. Selection of utility bills, all this can go to show that you have been living here for at least 20 years and therefore you can basically be successful in such application. The next question is this: if your application is successful, what status does the 20-year rule lead to? You see, Matisse Nipan Bebre say, oh, yema indefinite leave to remain. Enya nekre 1 and enya nekre 2. Since 2012, Emrana Chinji. Government Edim Rebi by a 10-year route to settlement or 10-year route to citizenship. Say no, yema 2.5 years, 2.5 years, 2.5 years. Just a word 10 solid years lawful stay in the UK under the 20-year rule before you can get yourself an indefinite leave to remain. Other long residency rules will be those who have been living here for 7 years for children under the age of 18. And also long residency rules applies to them, and also those age between 18 to 25, if they can show that they have been living in the UK for half of their lives, they can also make an application under the long residency rule. I remember a gentleman came to see me about 2 years ago, and basically that was the case. They've been through different lawyers. Unfortunately, they did the wrong application. Instead of basing the application on the basis of long residency, they based the application solely on human rights and Article 8. Unfortunately, the application was refused. They came to Justice and Law. We were able to spot where the application went wrong. We got involved in the case, and God being so good, they've been granted leave to remain on the basis of long residency. They were aged between 21 to 23. When they came to this country, they were about 9 years of age. And therefore, now they have spent more than half of their lives in the UK. Justice and Law were able to use the law under paragraph 276 ADE 1 small v to do a successful application for them. And God being so good, they have been able to start their education as well. Now, I would say this before we activate the telephone lines. I know people are eager to call in to ask some questions. We will give them the platform to ask the question. But before that, let me just cover this before we go. Now, children are also losing out on food at school because their parents have something called no recourse to public funds on their visas. And this is leading to some schools not providing free food to these individuals. It's a sad thing, but when you get that visa, 2.5 years, they've written on it, no recourse to public fund, and therefore school feeding program in this country, it is deemed to be a public fund, and therefore these people are not getting the food at school. What I would say is that the law also makes provisions for people who are destitute. If you are destitute, come to Justice and Law Solicitors. We will sit down with you, do assessment of your case, and where we cannot help, we will direct you to the right places. I remember not long ago, one Nigerian lady came to see me. Her situation was very, very desperate. I did what I had to do for her. I directed her to the right place. She was able to get what she needs to get. And now, as I speak to you, she's been given a 3-bedroom house with her children. And also, basically, she is now being allowed to claim public money. Having said that, if you are not destitute, please don't come to us and tell us that you are destitute. If you know you are not destitute, please do not waste someone's chance or someone's opportunity. Because there are people out there who are seriously destitute, who need the help. If you know that you are self-sufficient, please do not come to us because we cannot help. Being destitute means you cannot afford your basic needs. Being destitute means you are homeless, you cannot afford a roof over your head and your children's head. If that is the case, Lawyer Dark of Justice and Law Solicitors, we will do the best that we can to assist our community. But of course, there are people who abuse and basically take it to the maximum. Unfortunately, those people we cannot help. But people who actually need the help, we'll be able to step in and do the best that we can and help these individuals. We thank you for tuning in. We're going to activate the telephone lines and take some phone calls. Thank you for now. We're going to activate the telephone lines. If you have any question about immigration and nationality law employment, by all means you can call in. The number that we are using is 0203
Tsunami
002-8482.
Min come on you there. When you doing crop on Tassio Odana me on my own kutonu Obia Reniwa Obotun Asisama Jin Wawon
Osuts na minchen Mamim Pobun Komobi En come on you there. Obia you want you will say Snamichen Mamim Pobun Komobi In come on, you never need to. Wasam ya masa.
Semit unza mi unza mi emumpo. Me dagin dosu omi mwa. Wawre chichir mami nije. Baby tina minchen mami mbo unkomubi. Me komo nyina nide. Meye wa pieza mauta. Wondo ashe mi ma.
Yes, the telephone lines are activated. The number is, the studio number is 0203 0203 002 8482. If you are in the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland, that is the number to call. USA and Canada, the number is 312-238-9510. Italy is 068-938-5813. Spain is 938-023-038. You can call in if you have any legal question that you would wish to ask. We are waiting for your telephone call. At exactly 1 o'clock, we will be out of this place. So if you have any question, then you need to call now. Don't wait for someone to call before you call, because it might be too late for us to answer your telephone call. The number once again is 0203 002 8482. Ubitimi Afre, Yekemukos. Yes, Asunaba Kokuda Komia Menano. Bakope. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon to you. Nampachuane Kase.
Pastor Mr. Edward.
Mr. Edward from Edgeway.
Yeah, we have it.
Haru. Okay. Yes. Okay. Mr. Beff, you can survive. Mr. Edward Bomi, and Tonke.
Mr. We the year that was every Saturday winter time. Every plan radio so a church in Remington. And then they try any question. Yeah, so that I'm never that. Yeah, I said January 2016. That would be that recommended woman. You do those nurses in your time, man. And I only make calls to now share the best option. But we back. People that year near the application. Application, I offer my own vote to one my young father. Was my appeal. For court, I'm a media when I'm in a letter to almost say, I'm a decision not judge here. I'm going to implement the decision of the judge. The media prayer national media. I did a point then the one of the things that judge not explode or see the substantial evidence which was provided by the justice and no couple and a man if it's really in money we're really happy on in my favor. I'm justice and law I'm with the immigration judge they provided substantial or substantial it's a one of substantial evidence really and the friend and that justice and law and FireLiveTV.
Yes, so yeah, that was a for your continuous support because at Juma Radio, I'm can say so being a good case, I am not part of it. Also depend on the client. Advice you took it in good faith, and you made sure say you do what you've been asked to do. You did your bit, I did my bit, and God did His bit. Obi ohonma or to no bompai won't take action. Manners, those days now you fall from heaven. It doesn't happen anymore. And your input also made a lot of difference. And you also want to take this opportunity.
Most of my information from listening to
exactly. Because you are learning and you are putting it into use. And the FireLife Radio there is about education. And until Tembiano, we want to put the effort in and keep FireLife Radio going. Because the impact I have on people's lives now is unbelievable. Me, a boy from Ashton, nobody thought I'll be up to any good. But through the spirit of hard work and believing the God Almighty, today I can say my name is somewhere. People see me and they show me respect. People who are even older than me, they see me and they call me Papa. It's something that I never thought would happen. And sana hard work. You work hard, you play hard, and you pray hard, and it will happen for you. And Teja, was CP for your continuous support. Substantial, the grand cool. Maybe. I don't know. That's if you okay, reading an ankle. Why, Tiavisati and one can be. Ejabe, if you are Belandi.
Alaya, me bacha me chiao.
Me Joseph na apumuti say.
Nyakopo daroma eja ehye hon kakra. Positive no so chiano baby o hye bia Rosemary boss lady me chiao.
Sa boss lady hye ho pa. What you can? O si afidie so hye.
One na me bisa say opasa ojeshenga visa. Requirements niema de niema na obehia say opasa okọ maybe like a Hollandia na opasa Schengen visa. Obehia invitation every obi ho.
E be depend the entire okọ so be na invite o se bra na che say eno no ehu behia say obey de onya ko be my invitation to show say eyampa say ono na ese bra. And in that case that would be the case. Now it be accommodation, any panel a proof of residence, any proof of address to show say on na Obabesrano. Say idea oko as a tourist dia and then the hotel akwadano and I be home bookings and a plane ticket say okwa pass beba who skaka cross so down who krum and ye juma until what is animal so kwa and also no a simple process. And a Schengen visa no no shada bia until yes say oko for your own for tourism yes with me I wadi ako say ubisuna costa no so the person have to come forward with evidence to show say yampa over bestrado.
Okay, na so oko tourism na no na yenya ma visa no ehun behia say we plane ticket.
Say with the plane ticket I can only plane with me a reservation. So I know with me extra say I have reserved and I say I have pre we will be me a straight away baby also bit me a reserve without paying for it. No my catch say be within a week when tria on the cancel reservation. So to me there no mom actually because on be movie I didn't won't try take it. No, say look, why is it try take it? Now bring me a visa. No, I can understand that argument. And you know, with me the reservation, no, actually. And you know, when you have visa, now not just why I did. Wait me, I confirm. Not just okay when your baby are down. I want to.
Okay, and now I said, yeah, arrest will be not a reason. Now it's under investigation. And no, say, oh yeah, application. No, me a visa. Na I was say disclose na.
It be depend on the application. Any question be busa. Some of the like naturalization say they ask whether you have any pending criminal case, and no, you have to say yes. Some of the forms they ask you, do you have any criminal conviction? At the moment, say Nipane is under police investigation. There hasn't been any conviction, and therefore the answer have to be no. If they ask you whether you have any criminal or potential prosecution pending, the answer will have to be yes. And sometimes no question will be busa no, and no na so it me try to understand the question. Now the answer appropriate answer Emma.
Okay.
And it will depend on the queen Nipane here, no, because forms be any question will busa. So
and yeah,
and I careful because we will have or taste what I say no or feel from you so I say no. And so sorry your question crow. Now go fast my brain.
Yeah. Now the patrol Schengen visa with me filling online no printing and answer just of printing out now what fill it because my check here yes sir.
Normally no printing out now the pen of fail it. So Holland na person can I Germany in Holland. Last one I'm sure will be saying now you cannot do it online. Just all printed form. Oko Holland embassy now I could visitors which you see Schengen visa.
Okay.
And you know right. Forms and requirements in our see and you might have account to go so full and shut that any big deal. But what we be here you know our number with me and friend I guide you. Why?
Okay, yeah. And that's about it.
At no cost, a job fee. Okay. 7897 Pacho Address Yanko. Okay. Pacho the number a year 7.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to you.
Not that muting, sorry.
Pacho, now Pacho Hane Kase.
Pacho, me didn't do me for free.
We did the Joe, what can I say for him, Pacho?
Edgeway, please.
Edgeway, Joe from Edgeway. Joe Yanko.
Pacho, me say me this say we a family member of an citizen. Maybe our ba ewo Ghana now per se okofana procedure and it is saying there any requirements. I think so now it be more so can say gather documents ni nyina o de be kotumo ewo ha na why de na omo akodi visa no ewo Ghana but you to meet you kakranka ebe me the paper. I think so how long does it take place? Thank you very much.
The mechanic said, how long does it take in a home office? Generally, so with the application be about it may take it up to 6 months. But I can assure you, say it will be the to 2 weeks per independent from say the amano, which I was a bit surprised as well. You be shockingly 1 week and also the amount will be. I know sometimes it will depend the timing because times we on my so busy. Case ne kwa ayana a check akra. But on average, I would say from our experience, our cases, I check around maybe 2-3 months. Not yet the amount. In an unlikely cases, we should it take up to about 5 months. At the peak time, not almost so busy, and a bit to be up to 6 months. The mechanic say in terms of say evidence, and also the be kwahana, the be kwahana and kekahono. See, easy application evidence is submitted in Ghana. There is nothing called say EDB air submit or EDB air submit or Ghana. Name say non-EEC application apart from visitors application. AB ye submitibi or UK and OMDB a submitibi so or Ghana honomo. And that is the difference. They are all not the same. They are similar but not the same. Until Sana etie. The mechanic say EEC applications odi ne nyina koma akra no Ghana na say applicant no e Ghana na onumum ayede onumum asubmit bibia wo hono but say British application ne dey ayana on be submit ibi o Ghana na sponsor no application ya submit every hanamo ako your friend is saying Sheffield. That is how it is done now. I hope some answer a question in terms of evidence. I'll be here. Evidence actually say unipano uni senior worry. Evidence actually say akrano eyoba. Evidence actually say senior juma. Evidence actually say akrano bubinya baby atana. Yen evidence actually say when akrano will communicate on a regular basis. Unya sani mana na dia by justice and law no be trace kedi bi na yeso se nye biedi na chese yetin ai bibia ma kama asumdue ma.
Thank you very, very much.
And Brett Joe from for Wembley, Yadawasi Yesu Asumdue nka wososo. Why?
Amen.
Amen. Mame sietwi kasa abape lande. Mame yanko.
Malandi same you know. Yo asna ba kwa kudako anope wa mama ni aji papa. Asna yemprekwa ye prepa de kufi.
That's right.
Yamra ne kase no.
Sao yemprekwa.
Yemprekwa ye prepa de kufi.
That's right.
Ah. Eni awo pa de boy aso ameka kra wo se achi me yes. Oh. And that's my odi abe ya me de papa. Utaye simeni swa se ye mo frey ni yankasa ye benye dimpa na ayi ye free ne ma pi ho e free jamadwa dai WhatsApp so ta semu aga na ni ba wo le hu nse kan wo na ne ba ne botomu ene emra ye de aba se nipa ankwale du ya ma on asitna sete no Ema maniji mi ankasa maniji duma mi di no. Na kakra me kan de aso wo de ho no se. Ya na yon pempi na ba tan e bia obi ba ko school. No aba o so obi abule me. Ana se obi ye mi bibi. Ebi a awofo no betumi akache se ade onyonku tipan no ama obi o ya ye ni bi. Oh. Obo wa boni bi emeka boni bi betumi abono ebitumi kasa.
Yeah.
Enti aya me dese na wo ka caution ho asem kokobo ho asem papa. Obu ho a ne ba ko school na ko school me kura mofra ne na nafo ni binti na meka. Me nka se me de ye. Na teacher for de ne ho asem oba. Na teacher for de ne ho asem se mo ani di akire. Na woni akora na kasa papa. Ti se be rube bi no na sa ne man kitin nyina yiri akoye kese. Na kotia no ba bi a wo ye hwe ya enye yi. Enti me gidi sese bibi ni na se oba na drubi a wo ya bi sese wo fa kire bisa wenu nyina se kwan bi wo ho bi a wonim se oba na abobo obo no kokopen ese obi sa kire na hu se bibi a ni ho a ebesi ne kwan a wan hwe yi a beda hwada no o kire bi no na wo ho a kire emu ho bi obi a wa ware okogana no asan aba o se bibi sa Odru hana ye hu sem bi acha me bi o ye shoplifting. Right. Bi bi as. Ya me de se kokoboy wo de abapa. Na wo mo so a ofra na wa be kire sem ofra ba ya he na yo se. Be se de o twi na fie bi a ye yi o mo firi ho no. Awofo no ye ma ye ni nko ho. Se wo de ani ato se me be de wadru afi de obenya tumi afi bo. Na afi kodu se ampa ma na. Awofra ne da chi nyina asai. Nti ni nyina mu no awofo no ye wodwumadi wo mpapapa oma ye ninko na afi so no wo mo a ye de se ensem o mi a metumi a misramu asoma me kan ye nyina ye ntira se wonim se de enkra de TH de na obetro no ebia so no ba bia obetro ase ene so no de lawyer so betro ase mo ma bibia ye ntima a lawyer for no ho na wo ntimi kyerɛkyerɛ nkyɛn sɛ yɛn ayɛ bɛhyɛ yɛn ho sɛ me yakɔ no ɛyɛ ɛfo nanso baabi kakra bi kɔsɛe a wo ka wo bɛbɔ no na nka wo de kɔɔprɛ konkora akɛyɛ sɛ wo de wobɛyɛ kora kɔbisa afotuo ɛne ne ntena ase radio sɛ ɔmo de kyerɛkyerɛ yɛ de kyɛ yɛn ɛyɛ ɛnso bi wɔ hɔ kora a wo de too so a na wakae wasɛm bi no and also ya sem hian ebedo be ko na wa hye wo so akoye wa de no me gidi say lawyer for kom ho a wo ko busa afutu eso ne bo and o ya de ni nyina so eso ne bo enti mesre mo a mo maye mo mpini o na o mo nkyere ye mu yie ansa na de ade na akotum isa say no wa obia hu se ba bia yetie yeteta bomb so mo ni abre enti yenya sam kete bia na yede asan ho siri na ho akyero ye da afi ene nkyerɛkyerɛ pa bia munya daje ebe se ma daje ebe kyerɛkyerɛ bia asonaba nyame hyira wo corona na
babe yeda wasipi na de babe kai mesa kan ba ko atwa so cause obi wo so de ne ba na ye target ese ne bedi 10 na de ba ne gi ya no so de beji se wani ankwa akra ne ho a na se akra ne ekotija ene na je fie gi adum no apaska ndino invest mu pi obade de am kasa asem we me if you pick up on my child or you pick up on me I will fight you to the nail I will fight you to death entino obade sebio obi bia na oba enti aya yema yeni enkonkra ne ho na last week me ka asem bi emisa anyi bi mode na me sa ka bi because asem na enwo no aya na esa yare hwe police studies before ma yenya caution police for punish because see a chibi bi ni ba de niko police station na odru wa oh ya kra bonny you a bad boy I knew this will happen to you you are telling the police officer say punish you bad because you're bad but other people when they go there oh he got up in a wrong crowd oh he's not like this and that once you jano no ko and so na you be a criminal record we hwe kromu anama on in terms of ratio before the prison more than Morofo more than India for and so you know so sir any se banisa about time we wake up obu an krani nyene de o kan oso ayo hu se broni me hu se broni na sme bobra pa e better than me hu se bibini na me bobra fi enti no yanya depa it's as simple as that so it's very important say be the right thing because at the end of the day no de yen nkra na hwe yen twa sapa no so emfa nye na mapa na se biwo onam ho a yakase Ghana ni na hye Ghana ni monyam so yenye bibia ebeboa your community no so first no this will be a will be sikan no in a second and abadwene se nipa na Ghana ni no way because first no this will be a will be sikan you can never think say Ghana ni and so enne start to say me this will be a sikan I'm hoping say enye Ghana ni adentina ese banesa because sometimes na hypocrisy ni too much ade ni green but ye pese ye kakata ne ma so ntie the blue say ye nyai sa ne ma na we are not helping ourselves you are not helping our community enti yenye straight na ye deal with the issues na ema yenko yenim me pacho mami kasa
lawyer no pede me si ha chi amuna ama mumoni adwuma FireLiveTV and send the ana enioma aye me takra enokra no ya wie no mikokotie le chan masa say sir asem ne die we wan die ne family cry
that's right
na nyame sira mo papa ne adwuma pa moye mai lawyer onim se radio ya so ne nsem aya na obecheche na say teacher bi di ne basi na nisi me baso
hey
the bad girl akra no oye good o chese on hard ne ba ku sei o start school ye fan ho report bi amai na sa teacher na nkasa no na me ba boy no ho no na o ye ni o medi na mfi say boys dey o mo hard to my but girl you drew ni year 5 na o yes and me say dey ma me we pa no mpe me man
asemo ho
e na me confront no na me say me ba no onye happy onye comfortable cry on the class now no ni o me bia o say hi cry unfi no e den na ekoso me ninye ho sa intimate se bibi koso a onjai e just me report no ama you heard me say and now say me dey make cancel
that's right
me man be 2 weeks meji feedback e feel ho asan di e feel ba ne ho am ne kasa no me record ye me mani ye sure say me record ya again oh it's not like that ebia on said that on your intention can say man I'm fine me dem ma ba kama
that's right
be ya ko be 1 week bi time me ba na o say dey ya no wasre minim say esi edu kwa atma wa muna nitima o wasre na no but say good say obesity ama akra na hu say bibi sa ni ho because enkola omo eye fi omo de nyoma bi se omo ti mehu eto omo so enti se wo street den kwa no amu na wutiri ma onu de onim.
That's right.
Enu no mo be man confidence dan say ubemu na mu na atle no.
Yeah.
So ni nyina ye dwumadi a wudi no radio iso ne nsem a wo kan e kutu a ye sabi enti na ma ye bold etimi work and teacher ni nani ene ne kokasa e fa de ye ba ho.
That's right.
Because we yes mle bi a ya nso so a ya nhwe ho atamanka adane eyi ababeto yekum. Enti nyame nsira mo pa ne mo ncheche da bi a me ka me lawyer Kwaku Awenade or said dear crowd very asem.
That's right.
Na miti yenua be medinka Mr. Edward. Ampa mudini na damuso no justice and law no fire. Minim baby a said na kra no lawyer munya turi ekuta fire ne symbol no kra no so na da pipa no so na ye de ko no. Wan kasa uhu a etire bibi
Ejadem.
Mr. Edward asem of a kind eye no krepa no o kan enye lawyers ni law firm bia no mo do mo elected back home officer
On be sure.
o manase bibi na ye ntem kra na ye tumi cast sa enkofo we dey say bia say ya na say the way a what them ko hwa na say bibi ko hwa o mo responding in term no mi hu bi da machine machia ye tina radio so atena ye ni lawyers be atia but who ye number 1 enu nti ni ama lawyer 1 enye say bia wuni say obi a no but die nyame aye ono wo ye nipa sonko wo ye special asemba wo ha na de wo kan wo be ye wa famu die nipa na odi baaye no ono so nye na famu die na nye ne die
Sir.
Oh say die we nyina nye nipa nyina na wo bi enti lawyer sa asem we ya me kwa animu ene said ye mo best sector ye nsem a ya fa bia ye nso ye dia so ye kotodwema ene ame aye board ye ba ye test ye kokwa ye denam no ye ka ensem we ni FireLive radio mo nsem ya ene ye fa ene ye nso ye di tu ye hofo ne ye de boy ye bra ne ye de ko said ye ne yi nkura abone ye tu asese se wutie FireLive radio a ubehu kwan a obefa so no ba kasa ubehu kwan a obefa so adandan wo ba ama nioma bi wo a oba no onkonko saa baby a wakodi no enti adofo no ye baso a yen se me man tie kura na me dana me sorry a me hwe na masa se de be ya me nua bi nso benya bi atie no no so anya bi dia so bi enti lawyer nyame sra wo pa ne wadwuma pa a wo ye justice and law any FireLive radio any omo mu ye mu adwuma ne atiefo ne afrefo ne obia obaso bia nyame sra obia se obia nso onya ne so ne de e de bɔ ne bra ma me so me tia me te on ka che me se ho rat na nse na enioma 1 2 lawyer ensira nka na ebi nka ye funa owo saa e ma we me tia fireman me tia obia etiafo ne ma me boatman ne etiefo ni na me tia mo pa
Obia so Joso Yadawasi P for your contribution. Thank you very much. Young Kofa 8508 Pacho was addressed with me akasa. Hello. Okay, 4584 Pacho addressed with me akasa.
Hello, good morning, doctor.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Anyashe, young your name.
We say more than the doctor. When so with the advice came na person me through one.
No problem.
Concerning police police ba me nipa bi fie a friend no ni ono wadwum ono say omo ye police no mo pe no it no yes okay we wadwuma me ye adwuma no mo say okay ye beba ho so mba police me no mo fa no mo de call fie so obuso omo nka hwe o obuso omo warrant o mo say na omo peja no tra omo ka mo ni fie oduru o say na for order obi an se police atare de obi a se civilian atare no mo lutu fie onyina na yere ne banda wo na omo lutu fie owie na mo sa gadgets wo onyina phones computers ko fridge no mo ko ye wa mo am train de ndi so am ye ndi no mo ko no mo so okay o ma suspect is o hwe bibi o hwe obi ho etino o mo sa nyoma no ko wie no that was Wednesday enura no mo de nyoma ni nyina bi ba ye o ma fa nyina phones ne ba ye etino ne phone na ba ko asai It was saying, almost a phone. I said, no, they're now almost okay. Yeah, now, let them if I call baby claims. Now, Obebusa may say, officer or your rights or the more obey be about it because more embarrassing the partner, the man in the I'm so a penal, but Mebusa say, is there any action he can take against the police or the police are just right to come and
I mean, there's something called action against the police, which will be a civil matter. Basically, I'll be surprised if they don't have a warrant. But then again, you never know of the police. They can also break the law. And I'm afraid, in this particular case, he will need someone that do something called action against the police. It's a specialist area. They will then make inquiries as to what the legal position was. Because if they did not have a warrant and they just come to your house to ransack their house, that would be an unlawful act. And therefore, you can make a claim any damage that has been caused. So the entire impona IFE because of their search and how much it's going to cost him to wash them. Basically there can be compensation for that for unlawful action. Though police have the power if they
funny say warrant no maybe a wrong person. I said a wrong person on the end and also so because they didn't get anything.
Yeah.
But they start apologizing to him straight away.
Yeah, he can still bring a complaint and ask for compensation for the hurt that has been caused.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Because when say police, they are trying to avoid what do you call it? They are trying to do things to avoid criminal actions being taken by individuals. Sometimes they can get it wrong, but in this country, if you get it wrong, when there's a blame, there's a claim, you see. So therefore, you need someone that specializes in police law to be able to, if you like, start any compensation claim against the police.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
okay, no problem. Thank you very much. Papa so Ababelande, Pastor Dia from Christ the Livingstone. Our Dinyakopon Asema Emoshi, Emo Edin, Ebre, and Ewe. Entiman ko baby for video eto haya ye continue direct entina also betimi idea okay what the yakopon asem na ebre na wie ya entiman mo hwe Facebook nyina no ye beba off for about 5-10 minutes na yasa switch it back on said ya binya full full audio na full video no na mo so betimi ahwe o Facebook. Edamasipi, yedi adwuma besia for now. Yedi Christ the Livingstone as for Pastor Dia or the Empire Emoding, Eddie Yakoponsem, Ebebre within the next 5 minutes. Edamasipi, Muhammad will feed the tour and the support of the Mayan and Yakopon Israel.
On Mount Jezebel, no photo, the Mahoney Baniza. You know,